What do they think this school's for? You have fun? You can't have fun. You gotta worship the Queen of Hearts.
That's literally what he's doing right there. So had that not happened, would we have died there? If you were listening to Riddle, he'd be giving you a scolding for missing class. Breaking the rules. Something tells me building this section of the goddamn building here on this flimsy ass bridge, there's no support beam. It's not a good idea. But what do I know, right? What do I know? Use like, how am I gonna de-escalate this situation? Oh shit. Honestly, I thought they were gonna bait us and we wouldn't see a single punch. Sorry, Mrs. Chicken. He actually apologized to the chicken. Nah. I don't think skipping class early is the issue. It's you hanging out in a fucking crack den is. But that's just me. This is what I like about you. He's not that complex of a character, but he represents a good mindset that allows the other characters to flourish, and in return, you just enjoy his big bro energy. Why would that be a rule? The Queen of Hearts is such a bitch, though. Like, she's a great villain, but she just cut people's heads off for fun. Is the whole goal to, like, melt the Ice Princess's heart here so that Mr. We gotta follow law and order will chill? Hey, if you got this far on the video, make sure you drop a like, share your support, subscribe. If you happen to be new around here, Patreon's where you can catch my full live reactions to all these episodes and more. If you also want help from the channel and videos just like the one you're watching, but let's jump into it, because I think this episode's got more to represent than just basic slice of life filler, as you'll often see the anime community talk about episodes such as these. And this is what I mean. Now, I think among game players or manga readers, whatever, right? I think they're all going to probably collectively like this. But the thing with Twisted Wonderland is it does represent a new side of the fandom that I think some people that have enjoyed the series aren't going to be used to. And as someone who talks about a wide assortment of anime, we don't just stick to one type of show around here. I've seen these types of episodes criticized a lot because look at it. Oh, that's just stupid. Like, what could you dumb this episode down to? They make a tart. That is what happens objectively. They go get ingredients. Some ingredients break. They make the thing, and then they talk about flavors. That doesn't sound like a very plot-relevant episode, right? And that's where the stupid filler line gets thrown. Here's the thing, though. This episode actually had the most characterization, I'd argue, out of any of the 5 episodes. But depending on who's talking about this, now granted, I don't think there's a lot of discussion online, so you might not see it, but if this had enough creators discussing this episode, I think you would see that, and I think wherever the discussion lies, because I'm pretty sure r/anime is being dummies and they don't allow conversation around the show over there, because, you know, run by totally reasonable people on that subreddit. But this man specifically, what's his name? Deuce Spade? I think that's his name. Could be getting that wrong. Him in particular, but also Riddle. There's 2 main points of characterization in this episode, and that is the delinquent storyline history. And even before learning he was a delinquent, you got this, like, when they started talking about that he's doing everything for his mother and he loves his mother and he's trying to make her proud, you're like, okay. You know, it's simple. You could even argue borderline surface level, but it's enough to say, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here. They're trying to say maybe this more hardened persona has, you know, a soft side for Familia, right? Like his family-oriented man. But then when you add in the delinquent stuff, it makes him all the more complex. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, he basically looks like a Tokyo Revengers character. But at the end of the day, yeah, he was someone who dicked around so much. He didn't go to school. He was, you know, hanging out with his friends. He didn't really care about anyone other than having fun, right? And I think what I like about this too is that while yes, he was always a fighter and yes, he fought for what he believed was justice, and he didn't really care about who got hurt along the way, except for one person, and that was his mother. I think this is a really powerful moment, not something that's necessarily going to make you shed a tear. Like, I mean, maybe someone did. Hey, props to you if you did. But the idea that by establishing early, just moments prior to this whole like flashback, that he's someone who's fighting for his mother and wanting to make her proud, the fact that the only thing that got through to him was the fact that his mother, I'm not sure who she was talking with, probably grandma or someone, I'm not sure if they mentioned it, I'm forgetting, but either way, someone talking to someone crying about essentially that he's making her upset. That got him to change his tune. And if this was someone who was like in this flashback not giving a shit about his mother, sure, that'd kind of be an asspull moment. But you establish prior that he cares about his family, especially his mother, and how would he want to make her cry because he's a bit of a dick? So of course he's going to try extra hard when he goes to the school. So as silly as it might seem that like, hey, he's bringing back some eggs, we're trying to make a tart, right? Because we're trying to get Riddle to get off our ass because he's a dick. You know, the idea that the eggs are cracked and he's just like, no, like this is important. We're going to make mom proud and we're going to accomplish much at the school. Like it's actually good character writing. And that's why often with episodes like these, and it's why it's always so hair-pulling, is that you'll see anime fans dumb an episode like this down to, oh, they just made a tart. What a filler episode. You can skip it, blah, blah, blah. But if you skipped an episode like this, you miss all the characterization that this first season's probably going to do for a character like Spade. Because it's only 8 episodes, right? Yes, we have at least 2 more. Rumored more if, you know, it does well. But at least 3 seasons, right? So we can say we get, what, 24 episodes? For the first third that we're watching, this is the episode that really fleshes him out. And honestly, in return, they actually did pretty well for Riddle as well. It's a simple moment, but just the fact that they all get their off with their heads moment. I mean, not as bad as the actual Queen of Hearts who actually takes the heads. But the fact that they drank after, what, 8 p.m.? Like, they had lemonade after 8 p.m.? Why is that a rule? And, like, it makes sense, though, when you think about it, because the Queen of Hearts, every rule she had was just an excuse to kill people. Like, she was just a monster, right? Like, she had so many sticks up her ass that she invented rules with the whole purpose that people would break them so she could off with their heads. Now, Riddle as a character is different than that, I think, because, granted, I mean, Riddle's not actually killing people, so farthest thing from as bad as Queen of Hearts. But I definitely get the impression that without this, like, constant feeling of I'm superior and I need to enforce rules, he feels probably like a failure or something like that. Obviously, ever since I've talked shit about Riddle, people are like, yeah, he starts off bad, but just wait for characterization. I never said otherwise. I totally, I don't expect any of the main students are gonna be pure evil. I mean, if there was any character who was gonna be evil, it would have been Riddle, off with their heads. It's obviously twisted versions, no pun intended, of the original villains. But you underestimate my Kendrick Lamar hater energy, that no matter how great the characterization is, I will always find it funny to stick to my haters' ways, because it just amuses me. But great character, though, and I'm interested because you can already see the soft spots that, like, a man like him has, where, like, you can tell he doesn't agree with what's happening with the Riddle, but at the same time, there's not much he can do in current day, because if he tried to push back too much, it's off with his head, you know? I don't know, like, this show, I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, and if you've been watching the weekly rankings I do, so every Tuesday I do the tier list, where I cover everything I watched in the past week, and I put them in a tier list. This one has been good from the beginning, right? Like, I don't think this has become a great or an amazing or a masterpiece show for me. I think for those who have a deeper connection to the story already because of whatever experience they've had with it, sure, maybe that is. But for me, I'm just a new fan to the show. I see potential, especially if we stick with the same MC, which is seemingly not a weird thought even among source readers. Because from my understanding, like the different chapters and stuff, or the different like points of the story, you know, it's easy to switch to use different MCs. For an anime, it wouldn't really make sense, and I think especially given that we only have 3 episodes left of its first season, to switch to another MC, he would feel unrefined and underdeveloped. I think they most certainly, at least for the first 3 seasons, are going to keep him as the MC, which I think would be for the best, given the fact that I like what he represents, but he's not a complex character as it stands. He kind of is the character that allows other characters to seem more interesting, and his base level persona is amusing. I think giving him at least 24 episodes could do a lot for him, and I think that's what they're going to do. But either way, I think if anyone calls this episode filler, don't take them seriously, because they clearly missed out on all the characterization, and arguably the most characterization they've done for at least 2 of the characters thus far. But you let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like, share your support, subscribe if you're new around here on Patreons, where you're going to catch my full live reactions, all this and more. Like I also like to give video shows to my wonderful patrons who make it all possible. All right, so today we got Paul, Claire, A, Stephen Thomas, and we also have MJ Minion. So I appreciate the support. Please take care, and you'll have a good one.